The Magpie forward line on the weekend didn't function the way that it was forecasted.
Yeah. And I understand completely where Kane is coming from in that, the dynamics of the smalls, because they're elite, the smalls at Collingwood. But I feel you need bigs to win your premiership. And I just feel that Myercheck, and he came to Collingwood as a defender, a backup defender. He's now become their number one forward. I don't believe he is a number one forward. And then you've got big Mason Cox, who is still learning the game and is poor at ground level. So one of them, I don't think any of them are elite, and there's nothing else there to play with. Ben Reid, you can't trust Ben Reid either. So I'm just wondering, Ben Reid needs to hopefully get another chance at it, because I just can't trust them. They're my premiership favourite,
Well, if you can't trust them, you can't play them. So if you can't trust Cox and Myercheck, you can't play them.
Yeah, but all I'm saying, though, is De Goey hasn't fired a shot much this year. Hoskin Elliott hasn't done a lot. Jamie Elliott's got to do more. So maybe they'll look better with some better players like that up and around them.
I'm just saying, if Mason Cox isn't taking 7 to 8 marks a game, he can't play, because, as you said, when the ball hits the ground, he's completely ineffective. And at the moment, he's running under the ball and he's not marking it. We'll give it some time, because he's 1 week in, it's rusty, but he added nothing to the forward line on the weekend.
You mentioned De Goey. You're not happy with some of his...
No, I just think he needs to be put under the spotlight a little bit, Hutchie, and he's not $1 million player. So if he's asking $1 million, you can't be averaging 14 disposals, have 2 tackles and kick half a goal a game. He didn't have a tackle again on Friday night. He touched it 10 times, 5 disposals. He didn't kick a goal. He's still inaccurate in front of goal, so he's unreliable there. He's kicked 2-6 for the year, and he needs to be working harder. And if he's not getting the ball, he needs to apply fierce defensive pressure and actually start tackling. So he needs a lift in form, and the Pies need it badly.
And I reckon it's come from Chad Wingard, who we'll talk about later. Doesn't he look a lot fitter?
Yeah.
And is starting to get the results for him. I want to talk about side bottom, Kano, and I know from a tagging perspective, I'll be interested in your thoughts. Steele side bottom versus Marcus Bontempelli. So here's Steele side bottom, got well beaten. He's a superstar side bottom. He's had some great games this year, but I reckon he's the type of guy you can really sit on, because he hasn't got that physicality about him. He's more, your link-up type, outside type player, whereas Bontempelli got mauled in the final. But I've seen a different side to Bontempelli this year in the way he's hunting the ball, and then the aspects that we saw on the weekend. You cannot stop that. You cannot stop that mark, and you cannot stop this where he's bigger than side bottom. So going back and doing that would scare you most, wouldn't it, as a tagger?
100%. You always felt like you get the outside players, but those ones who go and win their own ball. His last fortnight has been extraordinary, to the point where I think right now he's the All-Australian captain, Marcus Bontempelli. Not for sheer numbers, but for sheer impact. He's been the best leader in the game so far.
So would you throw side bottom to half back, half forward? What would you do with him when he gets sent on?
You've just got to play games. You've got to put him inside, you put him to the wing, you can put him to half back, and he's dangerous forward as well. So if you're struggling to impact, go forward and try and hit the scoreboard.